when we look at Colombia, and I've been to Colombia, it's a lovely country, the people are wonderful, but when you look at the politicians, that are involved, just a quick list, and I don't want to insult Colombia in any way, but Health Minister is under investigation for allegedly using planes during a campaign that's belonged to a convicted drug runner. Foreign Minister suspended alleged corruption. President's son charged with taking cash from drug traffickers. President's brother accused of seeking payments from a jailed drug dealer for judicial benefits. And the president himself faced allegations he cheated on his wife with a transgender TV host. They've got to be careful about what they're doing and who they're accepting invites.
We don't know.
Is North Korea going to invite them one day?
I don't know. But we don't know who they're going to meet, obviously. But I think, Sophie, Duchess of Edinburgh, I always struggled not to call her Countess of Wessex, but yeah, Duchess of Edinburgh, she met Francia Marquez, the Vice President, as well. But of course, she was there meeting her, representing Britain. And so it was very clear what Sophie represented, and it was not the interests of the Colombian government or the, it was clear that she was representing Britain at that time. And I think that's what the working royals have. It's that their message, their purpose, their representation is very clear when they go to other countries. And with Harry and Meghan, it's not quite clear what Archewell's stance on lots of things is, in the same way.
100%, totally agree with you. I'm seeing this as almost like when Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie would go abroad and do certain events and do speeches and try to do philanthropic kind of work. It feels like that they're just putting themselves into the celebrity sphere, but reminding everyone, hey, we are also royal as well.
But there's no doubt it will attract so much attention, and that's the thing, that it's like, what is the purpose of that attention, and how thought through is how that's being channelled,
Yeah. Just quickly, I want to touch on one thing that they did announce. They did a video recently, did a video interview in America. They talked about a new scheme called the Parents Network. I think this is about online bullying, and it's a serious issue, in 2024. I mean, these are things that are affecting families all over the world. What do you think of this project? I mean, Meghan's complained or mentioned about the way that she felt she's been bullied in the past, or the problems they've both mentioned about issues about bullying and misbehaviour online. Do you think this is one of their projects that you could see succeeding?
I mean, I will say this is a subject that for me right now is so important for me, because I have a daughter who's just turned 11 and she's going to go to secondary school in September. And this smartphone thing, can I have a smartphone? Can I have social media? Is a question that parents get asked around this time. And I have been reading up a lot on the studies that are available about the dangers of social media and the information that has started to come through in the past few years since more children have had access to social media. And it is really terrifying how big an implication this can have on children. And I think this cause is absolutely brilliant. I think it's exactly the right kind of thing to be highlighting. And the Parents Network, it seems to be it's an organisation that parents who have had children whose lives have been affected. Some of them have lost their lives, some of them have had terrible life-changing experiences as a result of social media, can join as a support network. That's what it is. When you read the case studies, they're so moving. As they seem to all be US-based, so I don't know if this organisation is solely US-based or if it's international as well. But the case studies seem to be US-based.
I think they even spoke about that in the interview, that it did seem to be quite a small
I
setup.
think it's a really important cause for them to be championing. The question is, has it had the attention that it deserves? Will it get the ongoing attention that it deserves? Does that matter? I mean, sometimes it's not about the attention, sometimes it's about what the project is doing. And you have a lot of these projects, same with some of William and Kate's projects, they go along in the background and they're doing really good work, and it's not, everyone isn't necessarily talking about it all the time, but it's really important. So it could be that, but again, with them, I wonder whether it's something they could have made more impact with talking about as working royals. But I think it's really important. I think it's really important, and the fact they're talking about it, I think it's something to be really worried about, actually. And I guess maybe I'm at that point because of my daughter's age where I'm really thinking about it, and I don't know if everyone is, but that's how I feel.
Yeah, no, I could see it. I welcome it. I could see it. succeeding. But they do often come up with many, many ideas. There always seems to be a new project and stuff like that every 6 months or so.
I feel, I don't know how you feel, but I kind of feel like sometimes it's hard to see, again with the exception of Invictus, it's hard to see how everything fits together. And I think when you're a working role, you've got that umbrella of the institution of the monarchy, and so you can have all these scattered things, but they come together under that umbrella. And with Harry and Meghan, I feel that they would benefit from being more focused on certain things and really hammering that point home to the public. This is what they represent. I don't think they've quite done that yet.
Well, maybe this is worth talking about Josh Kettler.
Yeah.
You know, their recent who's head of their organisation that left after 3 months. I mean, maybe the lack of direction or the lack of clarity could possibly be due to the huge turnover of staff that they have. I remember, I've written down here, I remember Mandana Dayani, do you remember she was the president of Archwell? She left in December 2022. And a statement, I saw this the other day, a statement that came from Archwell at the time said that her transition was mutually planned. The intent for the Duke and Duchess is to now take full lead of the company. I mean, I just wonder if there's kind of friction within Archwell, that they don't know what direction they're going. There's too many voices that are in for just a couple of months and then leaving, you know, short period after. Maybe that leads to a lack of clarity and direction.
I think that can affect any organisation, definitely. I think they said that he had left by mutual agreement, but of course, you know, I mean, he clearly didn't start that job intending to leave after 3 months, so it was obviously it wasn't working for whatever reason from both sides. James Holt has worked for them for a very long time, and he obviously worked at the royal household as well. And I always really liked James. I always found him to be really good, and you know he's still there. But yes, other people have definitely come and gone. And I think everyone benefits from having someone who will maybe question what they're doing and push them in a different direction, maybe. So I don't know whether they've had that, whether they're open to that. We don't know. This is the thing. We don't. You know, it's very difficult to know how things have gone on behind the scenes with them.
But we can look at the numbers and the amount of staff that when they were working at the palace that left, and then since they've been working at Archwell, they do have quite a high turnover. But you know.
Yeah, I think. I mean, some people might say, Matt, just putting it out there, that you know, there's been a few private secretaries left on the Cambridge side as well over recent years, you know, and it's not always the case that there's a huge fallout, you know, it just isn't. So, yeah.
Fair enough.